1-800-547-77. Okay.
Doesn't mean you have to yet.
Injured? Is there anything wrong with running a huge pile of cash for your injuries?
Even if they're self
Want the biggest, fattest money award possible. And that's just what Lowell and Stanley will go after. A big, fat cash award. Everything legally possible.
so we are open to persuasion.
For all the money we can, as fast as we can. Lowell the Hammer Stanley. 459 cash. 459 cash. We hammer and we.
But it'll cost you extra.
He ran that stop sign, and the next thing I knew, I was riding in an ambulance.
When you're hurt in a car wreck, call me immediately. It's the best call you can make.
I'll call Frank Azor right away.
You're the one who did it, though. FDA.
I needed help.
Shit, not again. Not again. Sorry, Ty.
Immediate help. I'll take care of you, your car, and get you your check.
Do you know what this is? A check. And do you know who got it for me? Frank Azor.
Who's going to pay for this? This project wasn't my fault that his insurance company didn't need to run around. I don't have money to pay for this hospital.
Evidently, the hospital doesn't either.
I'm in it for a job. I'm calling R.A. Gabriel, head attorney. That's 4-8, that's
One revelation after another with this lady. Lady, this is Pizza Hut. It's no big secret that the archive tends to be very U.S.-centric. And it's just as well because, according to the YouTube stats,
Poor
about
Ty, I
70%
bet.
of the archive's viewership is right here in America. But I figured, well, yeah, I do spend an awful lot of time with just American stuff, so well, maybe I ought to take us on a little field trip. So I decided to look to the archive's second biggest viewership, which would be the overall United Kingdom. And so I went looking for ads, and I just didn't really find much of anything. And I think I figured out why. And it's got to be because, geographically speaking, the UK just isn't that big. I think the whole thing...
There we go. Fix the tie.
has a unique
I need to stop breaking you. I need to stop tearing you apart. Shit.
It's just aren't that much of a thing. But having said that, I did find one, and you'll see it later in the episode. But anyway, the UK didn't have it, so I figured the archive's third biggest viewership. And that is actually a tie between Canada and Australia. And I looked at both, and the cold hard truth is that Australia just had the more interesting.
I don't want to do this to you, Ty, but
Australia did.
I'm gonna put you up like this.
And a lot of these that I picked out come from this town in Victoria called Bendigo. And if the ads are anything to go by, it kind of looks like Australia's answer to beautiful little town. Anyway, one last point of business before we start. In the name of full disclosure, there is one ad here that I'm not sure is actually local, but it was just too stereotypically archival in the past. We can't afford more than some slides. The way we're gonna rob you blind. That's comforting. They have so many breakdowns they need their own bus.
Ladies, Rio winner this spring with an outfit from the Etuca Bargain Center. Etuca Bargain Center brings you fashion at a budget price.
Actually, we pay you to take the clothes.
You wear casual and colorful. You look great.
After a few drinks.
Good. Please first pass the punch in one of the many styles now available at Etuca Bargain Center, the store where the fashion.
There we go.
Winners. You love Etuca Bargain Center's variety of fashion.
Fix the tie.
Budget prices.
The Chuka Bargain Center, single-handedly responsible for the great Australian
So we don't fall apart anymore.
epidemic of 1988-1992.
Come on down here, get good.
If you don't buy any clown food from me, you need to hear it. Don't hop around talking to crap like
Okay, gotta do a couple more things here. Okay, there we go.
What's the freebie? A plumber that
Ooh, I want the Polaroid camera.
You can send stuff on furniture instead.
the freebie's got with all these sweet lambs discount is sitting
I'll take the freebie.
Brunswick.
Just happen.
I'll take the freebie.
Rubers?
Videos, there's only one place to go, Video Locomotion. That's right, they're open from 10 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week. And they'll even fill your car with petrol. What more could you ask for?
What, no pizza place and massage parlor built in? You Boston's are so far behind.
Yeah, Mr. supposed to be Mr. Marks.
Please let there be an elephant in his pajamas.
Godfather.
Well, crappy imitations of.
The new Focus Video Drive-In puts you in the best seats in the house.
Largely because that salesman follows you home and acts out the movies.
He couldn't find anything to stop his chair from rocking to and fro. He was very sad.
It was barely a pun.
Dad on telly said then you better phone and Robert. I'll go straight down, he said, and see if they can help you. When he arrived, he was very surprised because they had every kind of stuff you could imagine. And insertion rubber, and grommet, and seam rubber, and baby channel, and windscreen rubber. There was just so much rubber.
And I bet they still don't have a belt for my CED player.
Like a little more memorable.
That's what happened when Frank Spencer tried to open an ad agency.
Feeling kind of...
Dial up chicken. 369-77777.
These fetish lines just keep getting weirder.
Free fast delivery to all metropolitan areas.
Never mind.
Family dinner. Great value at only $15.50. Plus other great menu items.
Largely unidentifiable ones.
Dial up chicken.
Not great. The last time we looked at local ads, I devoted a segment to furniture stores. And the big complaint I got over that segment was that I didn't include anything from Archive Land's own most famous furniture sales. And his name is Jake Jabs, and he's got this now chain of furniture stores called American Furniture Warehouse. But for the
There are
uninitiated,
two.
Jake Jabs is basically the
Yep.
Kensington of the Rocky Mountains.
Don't think about it. You silly your mouth up like that.
So I've rectified the situation and I've included an ad for American Furniture Warehouse.
You're standing right here with me.
But alas, no one was here. And aside from that, if you remember the episode I did on the random batch of audio cassettes that I'd found, I played part of a radio ad for you on that one for a place called
67.
here in beautiful downtown Aurora. And I had no idea that there were ever any
Found him?
TV ads for this place.
Wonder where he is.
Pretty recently I found one and I've included it here. So we got that going for us. But I think the
Hey,
real
Weasel.
Killing time.
You feel alright?
is this is gonna be much belated
Feel better?
archive debut of the all-time heartbreaker slash lady
Feel better
killer.
than you were my Maxie was.
I'm talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Bargain Burn.
Let's locate the toilet. Easy clean foaming toilet cleaner. Brush less.
Mhm.
more.
Pain and congestion making you feel like a pinata? New Mucinex Rapid and Clear. Beat pain and congestion.
I got plans tomorrow. You know, I didn't buy it. I just helped out the guy who owns it. Owns the shop out. He sells it for $100. He was helping out the local businesses with their stuff. He makes lots of money.
These granny Daleks are so not intimidating.
Shackleton's original high street. Never thought it to be so easy to get in and out of.
I hate them.
First you sent for their brochure, then went to the showroom.
Wants a pot. Pot. So that too. Hey, baby. Hey, baby boy. Where's your brother at, huh?
Prices are great. Selection's great.
These customers all seem to be in this attic gun
All the prices were very reasonable. The selection is fantastic. The prices are great. I know I can find what I'm looking for every time I come.
Nice a day.
Lowest prices, the highest quality, and the best selection.
The only place to buy furniture is at Levine's. See our ad in today's Denver Post. Isn't it time you shopped at Levine's?
Best SCTV sketch ever.
Go ahead and look, and I'll be along in a minute.
Just gotta get a drink first.
That's right. You get a waveless mattress and it weighs only 300 pounds.
God, Bob Ross is missing half his rope. Call the authorities.
Yeah, the water gets filled up at your house.
$199. Okay, Ken, you can have a waterbed, and Daddy loves you.
No crap, she got the waterbed. Dad owns the company.
Well, I'm here to tell you Superior Waterbeds is having an incredible
Yeah,
sale.
water beds. They fill up your house.
We're just marking up the prices to mark them down again.
Start writing those orders. I need a rest. I need a sale. If you've ever dreamed of owning a waterbed, now's the time. Our prices are low enough as it is. I can't take it.
Knock him out with a hammer.
Please. Don't answer.
Like the days on a Superior Waterbed.
Waterbeds. Keeping chiropractors in business since 1970.
I never had a water bed. I would not want one.
All right, Marcus, little decorator's gallery.
Oh yeah, Bargain Bernie.
Get one free. Buy this handsome man action recliner and get the second free. Buy the Sealy Posturepedic mattresses and get the box springs free. Buy a yard of Salem Century carpet and get another yard free. Buy a $349 air swivel rocker and get one free.
He said it.
And get the second one free. As Bargain Bernie says, all I want to do is save you money. Buy one and get the second one free. At Decorator's Gallery in Parkdale Plaza.
Only 3 seconds of Bargain Bernie? Yeah, any more would probably be too awesome. Given my admitted addiction to particularly old AV gear, you'd think
My
that
baby
this
boy.
next block of ads would really have awakened my geekdom. But actually, all it made me do was it made me realize just what a bunch of total dorks us AV nerds are. So, anyway, the most notable ads in this next block are actually the first two. And in one of them, it's got this very mousy woman who wants so badly to do the whole crazy Eddie yelling pitchman sort of thing. But she simply doesn't have the personality for it. Or much of any personality for that matter. And then conversely, there's this, again, so-called crazy pitchman who actually pretty easily out-crazies these other so-called crazy pitchmen.
If you don't buy for me, you don't need money. I'm breaking the competition.
Hey, you know my flat screen?
My car for $69.95. Computer, $199. And we on the phone, $129.
He talks so fast his mouth can't keep up.
Okay, with a mini system. 99 color TV for $99. My big system is $4.99. Everything will cover up.
Dive a little Save-A-Lot?
Production Avenue located at downtown LA between 2nd and 3rd, 1 block east of Alameda. Wow!
He scared his own ad so much he gave it the hiccups.
Linda's soundtrack's sick. She stopped making sense.
Keep your cents, keep your dollar, got a camcorder.
Tablet for
Ooh, I wouldn't mind having that.
You'll still be paying it off when the damn thing dies.
If it works, I'd use it.
quality price $11.99. $52 a month.
Don't pay me.
You might as well get this huge Hitachi big screen 50-inch TV, 4 times bigger than
$2,000.
Suck 4 times as much.
I'm feeling better.
Uh-oh, better hurry to soundtrack now. Falls no money down, no payments for 90 days.
If you accept the 90-day grace period, your APR will increase to 97%.
Yeah.
Introducing Apple II.
It's like an ice pick through the ear.
Hook it up to your TV to create dazzling color displays.
Or you could just use a spirograph.
Or you can balance your checkbook.
Or you could use a pen and paper.
Kids can teach themselves arithmetic.
Pencil and paper.
The family can invent their own pong game.
Or buy a ping pong table.
It's called Apple II, the personal computer. See it at High Technology, the computer store.
These things never catch on.
They did not. The Apple III sucked. The Apple II was good. The Apple III sucked.
Fish.
For you, the finest quality products
Best prices.
and the fastest service to the audio sounds of Simmons. Our home video system will blow your mind. We're the Simmons from Simmons.
Dial 696-8855 for directions to Simmons Electronics in the Meadtown Center on Route 23 Butler and next to Shoetown on the Hamburg Turnpike Wayne.
Shouldn't Hamburg have the Meadtown Center? Or was that Meadtown?
When American Sound says all around, they mean 3 great locations: Sunrise Mall, Flora Mall, and freeway close to 1 Avenue and Highway 880. And they mean all around stereo systems. Everything you need, like this great Sansui system with a full
Hey, you got John Ford Coley and my Sonny Bono. You got Sonny Bono and my John Ford Coley.
speaker. Fantastic.
I'm killing time having fun right now. I'm having fun with my kitty. Hello.
Over 120 systems in the $200,000 inventory. American Sound all around Sunrise Mall, Flora Mall, and 1 Avenue and Highway 880.
That's what all your music will sound like coming out of those mostly empty cabinets.
Hello.
For today's final batch of ads, I'm actually gonna break my own rules. So anyway, let me explain. Late last year, when I was starting to kick around the idea for this episode, I put out the call on Facebook and Twitter for suggestions for local ads. And clearly, most of us don't understand local because more than anything else, I was getting requests for ads for defunct department stores, most of which had hundreds, if not thousands, of locations at their peaks. In fact, the first ad you're going to see in this next blog, I think it aired in pretty much the entire eastern half of the country. But anyway, let's seriously stretch the definition of local here and see who'll give us that real great deal on that coffee maker. Little boo-boo in the ad there.
Zaire. Never heard of Zaire.
When you come in for an advertised item, you want to find that item. So we're going to try to keep our shelves stocked. If we have to give you a rain check, we'll give you an extra 10% off when you come.
Never heard of Zaire.
Item will also mysteriously be a fifth order damage. This isn't what's in
That's an old Atari. Kmart was my store until I went bankrupt. Hello. Yeah, I like yo-yos to paint. Actually, I had a yo-yo. It was actually pretty good.
minus the eject button.
$8 for a coffee maker? Damn.
Minus the base. Only one year on the
$80?
only 2 wheels per skate. Minus the buttons on it.
Wow.
Caldor. Hey, you said you wanted 15% off. You got it.
Never been to Caldor.
Right at the river. Assuming you're into one-legged nutcracker barrels.
You're cute, baby boy. And where's your brother at?
The store is really disorganized. Witchcraft!
Whenever you come to Richard's shop, no Richard pen is ever closed until you're satisfied.
Assuming you have the guts to enter the store.
Happy year.
Which coincidentally is how long our merchandise has been sitting on the shelves.
We got
Bradley's.
You're not selling me a mine. I'm 6 of the damn thing already.
The mood is set. The lights are low. Where's the best place to buy a great stereo?
Corvettes.
I am so
With a
tired.
K, not a C.
Time I move.
For the famous brand stereos, we've got lots, including the newest by Panasonic, Fisher, and Pioneer. You'll find the newest radios, too, from portables to digital clock radios, plus a whole host of tape recorders. And look at these low Corvette prices.
Where?
What's the team? What's the score? I need a new TV set. What's the best score?
Was the costume change really necessary?
There's more in store for you at Corvettes. From Panasonic's battery portable TV to Sony's new electronic tuning, plus the latest videotape recorders. And look at Corvette's low prices
Only $1,100 for the VCR.
in home entertainment.
Screw the date. Screw the game. Let's hang out at Corvettes and play some Fallout 6.
At Corvette.
Well, that's it for today's archive. Join us next time when I Frankenstein together the ultimate catchy commercial jingle. But tidy over until then, and what I've come up with so far.
We got to make more of what you're looking for there. We got it. Come along and say that more. That's more of what you're looking for. There's more. We got it.
We're gonna try to keep our shelves stocked.
For you. At Greyhound Motors, mainly attention. We guarantee peace and happiness. We wanna make your dreams come true. You'll get every time.
It's a ring.
When you're watching the other football but don't want to ask your friends, what's offsides? And how can I sound like I know a lot about the game? You can just ask Google all of that at once. Oh, so that's it.
Dunkin' Refreshers. Available in all new blueberry breeze. Mango pineapple. And strawberry dragon fruit. Only at Dunkin'. That's refreshing.
On this episode of Mythbusters, Jamie and Adam get that sinking feeling.
Oh man, that sound is so wrong.
To test the myth that if your vehicle plunges into the drink,
Oh my God, it's coming up on the windshield. Wow, I can feel the pressure.
are you done, or is there a way to escape?
That's intense.
And meanwhile, in the biggest build of its kind in history,
This is gonna be the biggest piece of paper ever.
Grant, Tori, and Carrie attempt to squash the myth
Flat as a pancake.
that it's an impossible task to fold a piece of paper more than 7 times.
So it sounded so much easier. Paper.
Who are the Mythbusters? Adam Savage. And Jamie Heineman.
Almost too exciting.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience.
Cue dramatic music.
Joining them, Carrie Byron,
That's gonna be so cool.
Grant Imahara,
Listen to that baby purr.
and Tori Belleci.
Paramedics are nowhere to be found.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
Underwater car escape. Something tells me this involves a car in the water.
Shockingly, that is true. This is what I've been wanting to do almost since we started doing this show. The myth is that you're in a car, it goes over the side of a bridge or something into the water and starts to sink. The myth is you will not be able to open that door until the cabin of the car fills up with water. And then you can open the door and escape.
Sounds like you might be cutting it kind of close, though.
That's exactly what we're gonna find out.
It's the stuff of nightmares and spectacular movie stunts, but this sinking scenario is a real-life life threat. So, if you're in a vehicle that takes a dive into the drink, is it possible to escape, or would a watery grave be your fate? The myth is, if you're trapped in a sinking car, you have to wait until the cabin fills up with water and the pressure equalizes before it's possible to open a door and swim free.
I think it's pretty obvious what the plan for this one should be.
Yeah. We gotta get a real car, we gotta put it in the water, and get inside it and go down with it.
Really, I've always wanted to be the dude in the car. You gotta let me be the dude in the car.
You can be the dude in the car.
Yes! Dude, better you than me. But before he gets his feet wet, Adam first sets up a small-scale pressure test. He fills a 3-foot-deep cylindrical tank with water. It's an interestingly improvised, rubbery contrivance that makes perfect sense to him.
On the right here is a box which represents my car. And like a car, it will let water in, but slowly. It'll leak out of a lot of the corners and edges. And when you see that happening, hopefully this unit will demonstrate that the pressure's higher here on this drum, that's in the open water, than it is on this drum that's in the car.
Adam places a small piece of Perspex loosely on the underside of the box that will represent the door of his car.
Ready?
Each foot the drum is lowered is equivalent to half a PSI of pressure. In the real world, that's a crushing 1,000 to 2,000 pounds of force on the door.
That's the pressure inside the car, that's the pressure of the water outside the car. If you're inside this car, you're trying to open this door, you can't, because the pressure outside is higher than the pressure inside. Pressure differential. It's happening.
Pressure differential occurs because water exerts greater pressure than air. When a vehicle sinks, the water presses on the doors, holding them shut. When the cabin fills with water, the inside pressure becomes the same as the outside, and it's only then its grip is released. After building up and up, the two lines finally meet.
Watch the store, watch the store.
And release.
There it goes.
To test this theory in a real-life situation, the plan is to suspend the car from a crane. Adam will be the trap driver in front, while Jamie will be in back wearing a rebreather. Then the car will be lowered into the watery depths, with safety divers monitoring the entire operation. Fresh from the classifieds, Jamie has found a classic American sedan with power windows. It runs great.
Never to start again.
Now, pull it apart.
First thing we need to do is remove the engine from the car because any oil, any fluids that would foul the water is going to be a problem.
First, he cuts the welds that hold the engine in place. Wisely putting safety before style, Jamie torches without his beret. Then he ties a chain around the engine that is attached to a forklift, trying to give it a gentle tug. Looks like it doesn't want to come out.
No, it's holding it.
Maybe it just needs a little coaxing.
Doesn't matter. Haven't you ever seen somebody work on a car with an axe?
His opponent has been wounded and is starting to weaken.
It's coming.
After a protracted battle, the engine finally succumbed. Jamie is victorious, but the thrill of the kill has gone to his head.
I had to remove the engine from the car to clean the car up, so I did.
Well, there's your problem.
Now that the engine is out, he needs to add its equivalent weight back in.
This thing right here is our
Hello.
surrogate. We need to simulate the amount of weight that it represented because the car might settle into the water differently if we don't.
700 pounds of weight is lowered into the cavity.
This is Jamie's new hydrogen fuel cell engine.
And with the weighting checked off, it's
This is the United States.
drive the car into the field.
Oh shit, I don't do that.
Campo High School in Moraga is kindly letting us use their aquatic center. Go Cougars.
This is a high school diving pool, and this is where we're going to sink our car. If the about 13 feet.
Michigan, United States.
Should be plenty for us to do our test. It's nice and warm. It'll be great.
Jamie's auto arrives on location. The engine cavity has been steam cleaned, so every trace of oil and grease is gone and won't foul the waters.
Where's the engine?
They attach heavy chains
Okay.
under, over, and in between the body of the car and fasten them to a hook suspended from a crane. This vehicle may not be able to drive, but it sure can fly.
Don't let it go too fast.
No, I know.
You're gonna have trouble stopping it. There we go.
They park it on the side of the pool.
Lovely.
Then the crew mounts underwater cameras both inside and out for a fisheye view of what's happening beneath the surface. Aside from his burning enthusiasm, Adam has a burning question for safety diver Sean.
All right, Sean. So I'm gonna be in this car. It's gonna start filling up with water. I'm gonna hold my breath, but when I run out, what's the backup?
Well, the backup is sitting in your passenger seat right there.
This.
40 cubic feet of air waiting for you with a 5-foot long hose. Remember to purge it and breathe normally.
That's already
Get you out of there. Ready to
Okay.
go?
And Jamie will be sitting here in his rebreather with this standing by in case I need it.
Correct.
Jamie isn't in the back just to look pretty. He's a certified dive master with 30 years of experience and 3,000 dives under his weight belt.
I'm just gonna be sitting there relaxing, waiting for Adam to freak out, and then I'll be right there with it regulated.
So as not to skew the test by adding extra air, Jamie will be using a rebreather instead of regular scuba tanks. Rebreathers recycle exhaled breath and therefore don't create bubbles. It's a self-contained unit that's very 007. Adam's starting to lose his cool.
I'm actually a little freaked out because I'm going to be like holding myself up off the dashboard. I'll be my face planted into the windshield of this thing. I didn't take that into account, and it's going to make this a lot more difficult to stay focused and calm. Let's go do it.
The safety divers swim into position. And Jamie has some final sage words of advice.
Adam, I only have one thing to say to you.
Yeah.
Don't pee in the pool. Because I'm in the car there with you.
Time for Adam to get inside for the ride of his life.
You ready?
I'm all set.
So, wearing no scuba gear, 13 feet underwater, does Adam think he'll sink or swim?
I think it's entirely likely I may need oxygen before this test is complete.
I can't get it into gear. Is that a problem? Jamie and Adam are testing the myth that if your car swerves off the road and into a body of water, to get out alive, you have to wait until it's completely submerged and full of water before you can open the door.
So did you know last year, AAA estimated 11,000 vehicles went off the road and into the water, and as a result of those accidents, 300 people died.
Holy cow, that's a lot of people. I thought it was more like a freak accident.
Now apparently it's a lot more common than that.
Well, maybe we can help raise awareness a bit as to what these people are facing.
And what better way to raise awareness than to raise themselves in a car to the sky and plunge into a pool?
What the are we doing?
Remember, when Adam goes 13 feet under, he won't be wearing breathing apparatus. The paramedics are on their toes, and Adam has his escape strategy all worked out.
I'm going to try to start opening this door the moment I see the water get above my glass. Now, if the myth is true, I won't be able to open that door until the water level inside the car gets to the same point.
Deep breaths, Adam. Deep breaths. It's way too late to put on the brakes.
I couldn't stop now if I wanted to.
As the water rushes in, Adam is getting that sinking feeling.
Oh, man.
The crane chains go slack, and the car is sinking on its own. The 700-pound fake engine is taking it down nose first, exactly as it would in a real situation.
The water's up to my butt now. All right. Okay, it's going past my legs. Now I can start
like to see under the water. Oh my God, it's coming up under the windshield. Wow, I can feel the pressure. All right, I only have a couple more months here.
Adam's never this quiet. So what's going on down there? The water is leaking in from every open crevice in the car, and Adam is now fully under. He holds his breath, tugs on the door, pushes his whole weight against it, but nothing happens. Finally, he can't hold his breath any longer and signals for Jamie to pass him the regulator. When the pressure ultimately equalizes, he opens the door and swims to the surface. But it was too late.
That's intense! No matter how you slice it. I died. Let's just put it that way.
Well, that's put a dampener on things. From the time the water hit Adam's knees to when he surfaced took just 1 minute and 51 seconds. But that's a long time when you're drowning.
The fact is, even though you do go vertical, you don't feel like it because the water is filling the cabin at that point. So you're kind of floating. I held my breath, I don't know, what felt like 30 seconds, trying to push open that door. Using my legs, bracing up inside the cab.
Well, you died.
Yeah, I died.
Jamie's passive observer view was a little eerie.
I'm just sitting there watching the guy drown. He's like just going nuts on that door. He's really using up his oxygen. And it didn't take him that long to run out. You don't want to be in a car when it goes down like that. It's scary.
The bottom line is Adam ran out of air before he could open the door.
That myth is confirmed. I could not open the door until the cab seemed to be full of water for a while.
Yeah, you were giving it all you could, and you just weren't able to do anything in it with that door until we started to level out. That's the point that you opened the door.
Yeah.
And that was quite a while.
Differential pressure can be such a downer. But now, let's cut to a new myth.
Alright, this myth has been around forever.
Okay, what is it?
You can't fold a piece of paper in half more than 7 times.
I don't believe it. Let's do it.
That's why I brought a piece of paper.
Alright, let's see. Show us. Alright, that's 1.
This myth is a Mythbusters fan site special request. It's a theory that most people first hear in elementary school, and Carrie is finding out it isn't child's play.
Now break the table. There's 7. Come on, Carrie, one more. One more, you can do it.
Pump it. Giving up yet? Yeah.
Yeah.
8 doesn't, I don't think 8 worked. I think that's 7.
You know, there's got to be a way to fold this piece of paper more than 7 times. Okay, well, let's break this down and figure out what it takes to fold it 8 times more.
I have a feeling you're going to get math involved again.
Correct, Carrie. It's called exponential growth. Every time you fold a piece of paper in half, it gets twice as small and twice as thick. A piece of paper folded just 7 times quickly multiplies to 128 layers. 8 folds doubles again to 256 layers. And the theory is, this is too thick to bend.
Folding paper is so exciting.
To add even more excitement, the team is going to try to bust this myth by making it a friendly competition.
Okay, so the challenge is each of us has 2 hours to take these pieces of paper and see how many times we can fold them. The person that folds them the most wins.
Using standard letter 8.5 by 11 office paper, our first contender, Tori Belleci, steps up.
First you must massage the paper to get it relaxed so that it'll fold easier.
Remember your ABCs! Always keep logging! And the Walmart app has over 500 million items. Walmart has dancing shoes?
The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
Chipotle just dropped Build Your Own Chipotle.
A mini Chipotle experience at home.
Feeds 4 to 6 people.
We have a lot of food here.
Lots of protein, rice and beans,
Everybody can make whatever they want, and there's plenty to go around. Absolute game changer.
We're about to see if these two antiperspirants can stand up to the heat.
That's it. Yes, come on. Let's go. You got this.
Looks like Degree Ultra Clear can take the heat. There's nothing from Degree that fights sweat better than Gillette Clinical.
One. Tori's basic method of folding and rotating is smooth all the way, until he gets to number 7.
This tricky here.
To bend the paper to his will, he needs reinforcements. Just a gentle nudge is all it needs.
Number 8.
Is he about to wrench this myth open already? The pressure is on to bring it home to 8.
8. Got it.
Or did he? His fellow competitors are not convinced his brute strength technique really worked.
I think he managed to wad it in half 8 times, but look. That's not how.
There's one.
That's you cut paper. Cut paper. I'm sorry.
Nope.
Grant's thinking along different lines.
I'm gonna try folding along the diagonal and see if that gives me an advantage.
But Grant can't even crack the 7-fold mark. All intellect thrown out the door, it becomes a Tyson-esque battle between a man and a piece of paper.
Okay, there's almost 7. Obviously the diagonal's not gonna work.
Carrie's tactic is to focus on the fold.
My way of tackling this 7 people fold problem is to hopefully use a little bit of compression, a little bit of steam, and a little bit of sanding to make that last fold, which seems to be the problem, a little bit easier.
A homespun touch might be just what this myth needs. After ironing a perfect crease, she rubs it with fine sandpaper.
It's just gonna be a tiny bit thinner. I was just thinking maybe just that microscopic little edge you could give me.
Her idea may just iron out the kinks in this competition.
Hey, when you're done with this, I was wondering if you can come over and iron my newspaper.
But she too runs out of steam at 7.
7 times. That's it. This ends up being spit one.
Meanwhile, Grant has really been pondering this paper puzzle.
Okay, so I think that this is actually a dimensional problem. And here, this is a piece of 20-pound, 8.5 by 11, like office paper. And it is 3/1000ths of an inch. So, if I make that thinner, theoretically, I should be able to get more folds in the same amount of space. And that's why I have this. This is tracing paper. Technically still paper.
Isn't it a little early in the game to start cheating?
Still paper.
A cheat? Quite the contrary. Grant sees himself as a purist.
No hammer. No clamp. No sanding.
Plus, he has a cunning plan. To fold lengthwise repeatedly, then widthwise repeatedly.
Now for the folding in half.
If you fold a piece of paper in alternating directions, it doesn't constrain itself with each fold. So, it's easier to keep folding.
There's number 8.
8.
But someone still doesn't want to concede defeat.
22.
We agree.
Grant, Tori, and Carrie are trying to burn a hole in the 7-paper fold myth.
You got something you want to say, Grant?
As a matter of fact, I do. I think it's clear that I won the competition with 8 folds, and not only did I win, I busted the myth.
You know what, though? You got 8 folds, but you changed the method of the folding. The obvious way would be to fold it in half, turn it 90 degrees, and fold it again. every time we tried to do that, we couldn't get more than 7 folds. I mean, there might be some truth to this myth.
Well, if we use a really big piece of paper, I think there's a possibility that we could get more than 7 folds.
Okay. Then let's get the biggest piece of seamless paper we can find and try it again.
All right then. They rolled out the biggest seamless piece of paper they could find, 12.5 by 15 feet. In theory, increasing the paper's dimensions should make it easier to reach the elusive 8-fold goal.
Want a big bicep? Do this. Do this exercise.
For the first couple of folds, the paper is a pushover, but it's shrinking with surprising speed.
It's real small, real fast.
Sure does.
This is 6. It's starting to get nice, dude.
I don't know about you guys, but it's not looking good for the Mythbusters.
They reach the 7th fold. Now to go for the number 8 and break the myth.
All right, you're making a mess of my paper.
This is 7. We're supposed to get one more fold.
Oh, maybe.
Good luck.
But no matter what sick methods of intimidation they try, the paper doesn't break. Ladies and gentlemen, the pulp is victorious.
I have to say this is not looking like an honest 8. It's looking like an honest 7. But unless it just stays in that folded position, I think this 8 might be a little sketchy.
Stretching it.
The team is all torn up, even using a piece of paper the size of a room, 288 times larger than the letter-size paper. They couldn't crack the 7-fold ceiling. So now what?
This is 6 times thicker than the tracing paper. If we can learn anything from this little exercise, it would be we need to go thinner and we need to go bigger.
Bigger? You got it, Carrie. No one knows space like NASA, and they have plenty of it at an empty airship hangar they've given us clearance to use at Moffett Field. At more than 200 feet high, 1,000 feet long, and 300 feet wide, our crew will really be able to explore the outer reaches of this myth. Their mission? To fold a piece of paper that's almost the size of a football field. The biggest attempt of its kind in the world.
It's huge.
I don't know if this is going to be big enough.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's not a piece of seamless paper on the planet big enough, the plan is to get 17 individual rolls and lay them out side by side. Covering 170 by 220 feet, the team will join them together with double-sided tape. Then they'll use whatever methods necessary to try and fold it into a submission.
Basically, you have to fill this whole area.
Yeah, well, we have 170 feet this way and 220 this way before we get to any equipment. So will that work out for us?
Yeah, it's perfect to scale up an 8.5 by 11 sheet.
It's going to be a long day.
We have a lot of work.
Then let's roll.
All the way back right to this corner right here.
The paper they're using is special order.
This is the thickness of regular office paper, about 3 thousandths. What we tried to do in the shop, where we couldn't get 7 folds, was twice as thick as this. And when we're talking about trying to achieve this myth, thickness of the paper is really important.
Going larger and thinner might just give them the edge they need to beat this myth. They position the first roll, give it a push, and they're off.
It's going to be the biggest piece of paper ever. 1 down. 16 more to go.
Their first 220 feet of scroll has been successfully unrolled. To secure roll number 2, they need
Double-sided tape.
inch by inch. They press the sticky stuff along the edge of the paper.
Keep it in line.
Now, this, folks, is an example of highly focused, synchronized taping teamwork in action. Time to truck in roll number 2.
Coming down.
Roll down, take down. I think we get the concept.
I hear this is good for your back.
The art of paper folding is an intricate and time-consuming pursuit that is also often very rewarding. As they set up for the biggest paper folding attempt in history, our team is having difficulty appreciating this.
Maybe I just lie here and it'll get itself done.
problem that we have right now is I don't think any of us is realizing exactly the kind of scale we're talking about for this experiment. Essentially, this is a sheet of paper the size of a football field, and just maneuvering that, even seaming it together so it's one piece of paper, is going to be a major, major challenge.
That'll put them in lockdown so they can't escape.
No, it sounded so much easier on paper.
Back at the pool, Jamie and Adam are testing ways to escape a car that's plunged into the drain. They've already discovered that if you wait for the cabin to fill with water so the differential pressure equalizes and releases its grip on the doors, it could be too late. Now they're going to try out a modified survival technique.
Oh, here we are, day 2.
The first maneuver on their cheating death checklist is to try and open the door before the car starts to sink.
I figured for this particular technique to work, you need to do it right the minute you hit the water. If you hesitate, it's all over. You gotta ride it out.
Here we go.
Okay.
Adam's plan of action is
I'm just gonna wait until the water gets to my ankles, and then we'll try and open the door. There we go. Oh man, the sound is so long.
the water rushes in.
Okay, starting to see it on the floor, and it's coming up to my ankles. Now we'll try to open the door.
And Adam rushes out.
Surface exit via the door, totally viable. I waited until the water was up to the top of my shoes, and I was still able to push this door open.
The water rises slowly upwards. Next, he's going to wait until it gets to his waist.
Okay, that's my shoes, halfway up my shins. All right, now I'm looking at, oh my God, it's at my knees. I'm not going to be able to open this door. Right.
This one's no pushover. As the water level climbs, so does the amount of pressure. And Adam has to brace himself against the opposite door to force it open.
I was able to do it.
But only just. This time, he's going even higher.
I'm going to wait until I see water hit the top of this window. Then I'm going to use all my strength against the opposite door to try and push it open.
Dude, I'm gonna have dreams about this tonight.
All right. The water's getting to the top of the window here. All right, here we go. It's almost at the top. Almost there. 3, 2, 1, go.
The differential pressure on the other side of the door has become too strong and holds it shut. Adam gamely pushes back, but he's like a krill fighting a whale. It's not long before it's R.I.P. for our little crustacean.
I think we found the cutoff point. Exiting the car, feeling the door after it hits the water is a viable option. If you have a very small window, by the time you can see water halfway up the window, it's pretty much too late.
Back over at Paperfold HQ, the pigeons living in the rafters have left some pointed messages on the team's blank sheets.
It's everywhere.
Nasty!
They better tread very carefully. The art of paper folding, known as origami, is believed to have originated as long ago as the 1st century AD in China. Masters of the craft believe it is a pursuit in which you can unlock the secrets of creation.
It looks like a big giant diaper.
That might be a stretch for our novices here today, but finally they reach the last joint.
All hands on deck.
Disperse yourself at even intervals.
Yeah. We gotta space out.
And so the paper becomes one.
That went so much better than I thought.
I thought this was gonna be hard.
Looking down from a bird's eye view, it's an impressive sea of white. No wonder those pigeons couldn't resist.
Ooh, look at this ocean of paper.
I think this is going to be probably the biggest attempt to fold a piece of paper more than 7 times.
Actually, in 2002, there's this high school student named Brittany Gallivan, and for an extra credit project, she did the 7-paper fold and got more than 7 folds.
What? How?
She used toilet paper and folded it lengthwise. But the toilet paper was 4,000 feet long.
How many folds did she get?
She got 12 folds. She had to use a shopping mall, and it took over 7 hours to fold.
Wow, that's impressive. She may have beaten the 7 paper fold, but she did it lengthwise. I still think the spirit of the myth is folding it in half, turning it 90, and folding it again.
That's true. And within the parameters of the spirit of the myth, that record is still up for grabs.
I say we do it. We just gotta be careful we don't get any paper cuts.
With the paper build finished, they can finally begin folding. It's socks only as the whole Mythbusters crew grabs an edge.
Everyone ready? Alright, here we go.
Slowly.
Slowly.
Slowly they pull back the paper, being very careful where they step. But the pigeon droppings aren't their only worry.
My new worry is that this paper's gonna rip when we start trying to fold it. I mean, it's really thin. And the size of these pieces of paper, so heavy. I just see ripping for days.
We raise your sack off Sonics $2.99 salted caramel toffee iced coffee. Welcome to Visible, the ultimate wireless hack. It's one line powered with unlimited data on Verizon's 5G network for just $19 a month for 1 year, guaranteed. But you already knew all that, didn't you? I can't let you live the same life I left behind. They won't just let us walk away. We have to finish this.
So we're still happily ever after.
Booking.com has all kinds of stays because a laid-back beach house is right for some, but off-brand for others. Find exactly what you're booking for. Booking.com, booking.com.
Stop sleep brushing. Wake up your mouth with the power of baking soda. Arm & Hammer toothpaste. Taste the difference, feel the difference.
Is there an ill wind blowing?
It's already a really, really difficult task. The paper has got the littlest breeze and it starts to fly.
One rip and their best laid plans will be shredded.
Situation.
Those are passed out.
If you drive your car into the drink, you can't get out alive unless you open a door at precisely the right moment. So is there another window of opportunity?
We know it's pretty much impossible to open the door once the car is submerged and underwater. The question everyone asks after that is, well, why didn't you open the window? That's what I'm going to do, a shop test to find out. I have one electrically powered window and I have one manual powered window. I'm going to put them under the same kind of strain that they'd experience underwater and try and open them.
The 350 pounds Adam is adding is equivalent to the pressure the window would be under at a depth of just 2 feet.
I do not know of a more visual way to make clear how much pressure you're dealing with when you put things underwater.
Then he tries to crank it open.
I should point out, I'm not in a really good position for leverage to open this window.
There's not even a sliver of a crack.
There it goes. It just failed. Yeah, the gear just slipped.
Under that kind of pressure, there's so much force pushing the glass against the frame of the car that the manual lever is going to break.
Maybe electric windows have more power, but the common perception is they don't even work underwater.
This is the electric door, and the first thing I want to do is dump the electric door in this container with the battery and see how long the electrics hold out for.
Okay, here we go.
Batteries on the bottom.
They let it steep. After 45 minutes, surprisingly, it's still going strong.
You shouldn't be counting on the electrics to allow you to open up the electric window, but it certainly doesn't short out immediately like I thought it would.
So it's not out of the question that power windows could still work underwater. But what about the effect of differential pressure?
Okay.
The burden of 350 pounds pressing down on the glass is a real pain.
No, it's not budging. You can see it flex.
Yeah, you can see it trying, but it ain't going nowhere.
So, with electric or manual windows, neither would you.
automatic windows, you are just as screwed as you are with manual windows. 350 pounds of pressure. That's only 2 feet underwater. It's like the bare minimum you'd be encountering. As long as there's still air in the cabin of the car, you would not be able to open this window.
But Adam isn't prepared to expire a third time.
Now that we know you can't open that window because of the pressure, the question remains as to how to open that window. And I'd say you break it. The question is how.
Their plan is to try to break the glass using various items you'd likely have within your reach inside a submerged vehicle. For starters, keys.
All right, you ready?
Go for it.
Adam smacks the glass, but it doesn't crack.
Actually, we get a good solid hit on that. Nothing. I'd say keys are busted.
Next on call, a cell phone.
You're just bounding for your life. You're screwed.
Then Adam suits up for another attempt.
So Adam, this is like you've just stolen a car and you got a little carried away and escaping the cops, and now you're underwater, so you're in trouble.
Right, is that my motivation?
Yeah. Well,
So, blasting an escape hole might be possible with steel-toed boots.
Woo, that's so cool. Okay, I'm gonna get to kick this window up right away.
But the window doesn't crumble. If he had just carried out his community service sentence, he would have lived.
No.
none of the items that would be laying around randomly in your car worked for us to break a window. So we get to try the commercially available ones. This is a hammer thing with a point on it, and this is a spring-loaded punch.
They try the underwater emergency hammer first.
Oh!
What a difference.
Wow!
One hit.
That was instantaneous.
Really darn well.
That works.
Amazing. A product that does exactly what it says on the box. Next up is a store-bought center punch device, a tool that's normally used to dent a surface prior to drilling.
Put it up against the glass and push. And it does that.
Yeah.
And luckily I have one more card with me.
A new door is submerged, and they're ready for the count.
3, 2, 1. Wow, my hand just went right through.
The reason the store-bought products work is because car windows are made of tempered glass.
Come up.
They've been heat-treated so that their surfaces are under compression. Fracture it, and this tension shatters.
Yeah, that's lovely. The product's meant to do, get you out of that car, did exactly that perfectly on the first try each.
It doesn't take much, but it has to be the right thing.
Yeah, exactly.
The guys are completely sold on the commercially designed escape products.
Well, I've got 7 punch in my toolkit, and I think one's going to find its way into my glove compartment.
At last, a release. Back over at NASA, our team is finding out that folding a football field-sized piece of paper isn't exactly a breeze.
For instance, the fact that it turns into a giant windsock with the littlest bit of a breeze. There's air trapped underneath it.
But they managed to rein in the billowing parachute without any tears for an official fold 1.
Let it fall. Pull the slack. That was beautiful.
They reposition for the next crease.
We're gonna fold that direction.
It's like trifold, the world's biggest bed sheet.
It's starting to, it's crumpling in weird ways. It's not folding smoothly.
But the team manages to smooth out the wrinkles and make folds 2, 3,
Hey, notice we're all getting a little closer?
4, 5,
Everybody to this side for 6.
and 6. Neat and tidy tuckings.
It's actually like an airbag.
However, with each pass, the additional layers make it harder to heave over.
Come on.
7, everyone and everything
I'm
is
up.
starting to fly. 7 is squashed out. Now, the team is about to go for it. If they achieve it, they will bust the 7-paper fold myth.
See, everybody's very quiet. We're all anticipating busting this myth. We folded it 7 times. We're about to go for number 8.
Good. I think we're gonna do it.
The paper tries to dig in its heels, but is losing its grip. It sure feels satisfying to beat a paper myth to a pulp.
If you draw a line all the way down, you'll be able to intersect every layer, and that is a true 8-fold. And that is
There's no stopping our out-of-control paper pushers now. If it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. Harry trucks in a giant rolling pin to flatten this piece of puff pastry some more.
Flat as a pancake!
As smooth as rolled dough, it folds back using its power.
9!
To achieve double digits, the paper is too heavy for the team to lift themselves, so they stick a fork in it.
Drive in. Drive in.
A definite 10.
Topping 10 is going to be tough. Thanks to their buddy exponential growth, the paper is now 1,024 layers thick. It takes every ounce of strength they have to bend it.
You got it?
That feels like an honest 11 to me.
Nice!
Not only did they bust 7 folds, they turned it up all the way to 11.
Definitely put this one to bed.
Absolutely.
So as far as our definition for the myth goes as a fold, we've got it long, we've got it flat. If we do any bit more, it's just going to be a semicircle. We got 11 folds of a football-sized piece of paper. We busted a mid, and we're going to go home before the sun completely goes down. 11 folds.
I didn't think it was possible.
Should we go to the NASA gift shop?
Yeah.
If you drive into a body of water, you don't get more than one chance to escape. So it's a best hope scenario. Jamie and Adam are trying to find out.
Something tells me we're not quite done yet, are we?
No. Now, we have a whole roster of survival techniques that we've heard about for getting out of the car once it's sinking in the water, and I think we owe it to the fans to try them all out.
So we're going back to the pool.
We are.
Okay. I'll get my best.
They've done their homework to get fun. But it's way more exciting diving back into a real-life situation. Next, if your window's jammed or it's too late to get them down, you've got to go for broke.
The next survival technique we're going to try is breaking the window. Unfortunately, we can't break the window because it's cool and, people would get glass on the feet or something. So what we've done is rig the window with a lubricant and with high voltage so that we can really positively pull it down.
The high voltage trigger should be enough to counter the differential pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And welcome Oddity are the show that fight to figure out the concept of financial sustainability. And conveniently, at least as far as today's show is concerned, once upon a time, way back in the dark ages, the then emerging television industry, in some cases before it even went commercial, was facing a similar dilemma to what we are now facing with the internet. And that is, would TV in the long run have a better shot at survival via some sort of advertising-based model or some pay-as-you-watch sort of model? And of course, as we all know, in the long run, it's been a little bit of both. And so, history has a way of repeating itself. So, I guess it's kind of timely that we take a look back at, well, at least one half of that equation. Today, let's take a look back at some of those early embryonic steps at what we now know as pay-per-view. As we know it today, pay-per-view is something that's attached to cable TV, usually to watch some movie or sporting event, I use the term loosely, or well, we more or less but the origins of pay-per-view actually go all the way back to the dawn of commercial television, usually as some extension of early cable, read community antenna TV. Be forewarned, as of this episode, there is no surviving footage of most of today's topics. So, let the slideshow begin. In 1931, a full decade before the first commercial TV broadcast, in the US at least, Zenith, under the impression that TV would ultimately take off, but probably wouldn't fare too well on an advertising-based business model, began work on a, as they put it, pay-as-you-look system for television. This was called phone vision. Zenith was so confident in this idea that they even went as far as to claim one of the first TV broadcasting licenses in the country, namely Chicago's W9XZB, which ran from 1939 to 1950, then became KS2XBS. But I digress. It took until 1947, but Zenith finally announced their new concept. What they had worked out by this point was that programming would be sent over the air just as any other standard TV broadcast, and certain frequencies necessary to the stability of the transmission would be intentionally left out, the missing frequencies being reinstated via telephone line. It took until 1951, but phone vision was ultimately tested. 300 hand-picked households in the area were equipped with a set-top box to test out phone vision, the only requirements being that they be willing to accept a $1 per program charge and to provide feedback to Zenith on their experiences. The experiment was a mixed bag. On the one hand, users were using phone vision on average nearly twice a week, despite the programming consisting of nothing but minimum 2-year-old films. On the other hand, everyday interference from weather, passing trucks, and airplanes and stuff proved to be something of a hindrance, rendering the phone setup somewhat moot. Now, despite these results, Zenith wasn't encouraged enough in the sense that, instead of bizarre bit of hubris, they manufactured some of their later 1951 model TVs with built-in phone vision decoders, under the assumption that their system would ultimately take off. In 1954, Zenith took another stab at phone vision, this time via Secaucus, New Jersey/New York City independent station WOR, though the tests were 100% private. This time out, Zenith sent all necessary frequencies over the air. Having said that, here's where things get a bit speculative on my end. Though I found no confirmation, my guess is that Zenith was broadcasting all the necessary frequencies plus a few extra. Your necessary decoder box will then filter out the rogue frequencies in the broadcast, kind of like how on TV would do it 20 plus years later. Anyway, over the next several years, Zenith took the phone vision experiment to New Zealand and Australia, but with no real success. 1962, Zenith took one last stab at phone vision, this time in Hartford, Connecticut, via owned independent station HMC. By this point, Zenith had settled on a card-operated system. You'd get a card with a series of obscured codes. You'd enter the card into your decoder box. The decoder box would give you a 5-digit code. Then you'd punch in that code on your box, and your card would get punched, and you'd get billed by a visiting technician once a month. Given the setup, it's surprising that there were no confirmed cases of piracy with this edition of Phone Vision. Conversely, it has been reported that non-subscribers would just deal with poor quality and attempt to watch scrambled TV over the day. In addition to that, Zenith was never quite able to conquer the fact that their frequency setup would not support color broadcasts. Anyway, between these two factors, this proved to be Phone Vision's ultimate undoing. The plug was pulled on the Hartford Phone Vision experiment in early 1969. In a rather amusing endnote, in 1970, the FCC approved national use of the Phone Vision system. Zenith then tried in fits and starts as late as 1986 to get Phone Vision off the ground, albeit by then as a standard pay-per-view service tied to existing cable TV systems. In its roughly 35 years of use, Phone Vision never. In 1951, the first competitor to Phone Vision was announced. It was called Subscriber Vision by a company known as Skiatron. Skiatron's method of delivering pay TV was actually what cable TV as we now know it would eventually become. TV delivered via wire. Skiatron's decoder box was similar to Phone Vision's punch card model, but instead operated on an IBM punch card that lived in the decoder box. Every time you'd order something, another punch would go into the card, and every month you personally would insert a new card, sending off the old one with payment to Skiatron. In 1952, Skiatron announced that they were seeking the broadcast rights to the then-new operetta A Night in Venice to launch their new service, assuming the FCC granted the license they wanted. It never happened. However, in 1953, Skiatron did manage a run of unlicensed private apparatus tests via, strangely enough, WORTV. Remember that previous segment? Anyway, in 1954, Skiatron was bought out by Universal Studios Vice President Matty Fox. With Skiatron in tow, Fox began work on acquiring the TV rights to the RKO Pictures catalog, as opposed to Universal. The deal was completed in July 1955, though Fox granted regular TV rights to these films, just to hedge his bets. Anyway, with the RKO catalog in tow, Fox continued to try and build up a solid programming package for Skiatron, including baseball games and boxing matches. In December of 1959, Matty Fox's rather famous knack for sweeping the company's financial troubles under the rug caught up with him. Specifically, the Securities and Exchange Commission suspended